Hi and welcome back to GoodKnitKisses. I'm your host Kristen, and today we have another loom review. This is a knitting board product, and it is a super Afghan loom. Now, you have seen some other S looms before, maybe on the market. This one is a little bit different and a little bit the same, but I think that you're going to like it. I'm going to show you what the package looks like. Now, I've already taken the loom out, but I want you to see what it's going to look like. This is the packaging that you're going to get. And it's a super Afghan loom. There's actually 3 projects included inside the loom and a small instruction booklet, and then you've got your tool. And let me get that loom out for you. All right, here is the S loom. Now, if you're not familiar with an S loom, this creates a very large, wide panel. Now, this particular one is set up to do a 60-inch single knit or flat panel. What you do is you locate the beginning, which they've marked with a small triangle, and then you cast on however many stitches you want. Now, it has 198 pegs. If you want the maximum width, then you would cast on 198 pegs, put a stitch marker on the last peg right before the beginning one. That way you know, and you're not going to connect those. So you can even put 2 stitch markers on there to make sure don't connect in between there. But if you keep going on that, in an E-wrap you'll get a 60-inch wide panel, and let me cheat and look at the stitches per inch on there. In 198 pegs in an E-wrap stitch, you will get approximately a 60-inch wide width gauge of a 3.5 stitches per inch. And if you use the knit stitch, it will create approximately a 50-inch wide panel with a gauge of 4 stitches per inch. Now, it also depends upon, there's some easement. It depends on your tension. You could be very loose, and you could actually get something that's wider than 60 inches. I actually think, you could go upwards of 12 inches. It really depends on what you're making. So just to tell you a little bit more about this, these are the same shape of the molded pegs in all the new looms that have the nylon pegs. This is a high-grade plastic, and the construction on there is going to be thicker and sturdier than some of your other plastic looms. It doesn't have a lot of torque on this outside frame here. It does have a little bit of a flexibility here. That's actually part of the design and structure. It's very stable. On the back you can see that there are some screws in it, so it's not 100% plastic, but those are the fittings to get it to fit together. It is stamped with the knitting board logo, and I've done several different things on here. It is made for single knit flat panel knitting. Now, there is another S loom on the market that will do double knitting, and so I've actually figured out the math to be able to do some double knitting on here. I will tell you, the really, really nice feature that they planned on this actually makes it a little harder to do a double knit in anything less than a heavy, bulky weight 5 or a 6. And what it is you notice this gap here. And so they've made this gap a little bit wider, and also, if you'll notice, I can get about 3 fingers in here from these end pegs to this next part of the S loom. Get about 3 fingers in here. One of the competitors' looms, I can barely fit my finger in here. The chief complaint that other people have had with other S looms is there's not enough space. So when I start trying to put my knitting tool in here and knit over, there's not enough gap. Well, this one, I can tell you, I've worked on this enough now. It's got plenty of space. So what you do is you cast on, and you can just rotate this in your lap. It fits very easily in your lap, and then you just you just knit over. You still, if you're newer to loom knitting and you want to not have to sew anything, this is great because it's just one panel. But also, just to remind you, if you're going to do an E-wrap stitch the whole way, your edges are going to curl, so either start with a rib stitch, a garter stitch, and do a border, or you can do a seed stitch. So you can look those up on my channel. Those are also on there in our beginner series tutorials. What else to say about this? This is a 7/16 inch gauge. The 7/16 inch is 1/16 smaller than a 1/2 inch gauge. So the other S-loom that I have is a 1/2 inch. Now, every time I've done stuff on it, it's just slightly too big of a gauge. So actually, when I got this, I was really excited because it's just slightly bigger gauge than my all-in-one, and it's slightly smaller than my other loom that's the 1/2 inch. And it kind of fits this little pocket. To my left, your right, is this blanket here. I'm going to put this down. This Afghan here I actually have on vivaloom.com, which is a site that's actually Knitting Board has put together, but it actually has patterns for lots of other manufacturers of looms. So if you're not familiar with the site, check it out. It's vivaloom.com. That's VIVALOOM.com. And this pattern is for an S-loom. It's my striped loom knit blanket. And I've got a boucle and then another solid. And then I have behind it another one where you don't see the rainbow boucle in it, and it just looks like a nice banded. But these are like a 55 or 60 inch wide blanket by 60, so it's a nice little Afghan. But when I made this and I used the boucle, I had wanted something that was a little bit smaller gauge, and so I have a little bit more gappy holes in it. So I actually can't wait. Obviously didn't have enough time to make an entire Afghan to show you what it looks like. So I know that this would close up just a little bit. So I don't have a sample for you, but I can't wait to make this blanket. In fact, I already have colors picked out for some gifts. Shh, don't tell anybody. So I've got some ready to go and to put on to this S-loom. So this is actually a product that I'm going to use. Now I will tell you, put the loom back up here, that the width on this, so it kind of fits in my lap here, the width on this is the same length here. This right here is going to be the same as the all-in-one. So if I was to put the all-in-one loom right on top of here, it would be the same. And now, of course, it's going to be wider. The all-in-one is probably, would fit right in here. But this is going to be more manageable to do a large project on and fit in your lap, and you could even take it on the go. I actually travel a lot, and I'll take it in the car with me, obviously not while I'm driving, and I'll knit with that. Now there is another loom that has the same gauge as this one that also can do an Afghan on it, and it has more adjustability, and you can do double knit on it. And that is their 28 inch with peg extenders, and that's the new loom. It's from Knitting Board. Let me get that out for you. This is the loom here, and you can see it's much wider. It's 28 inches versus this 18 inches. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit more compact. So if you need something more compact, check this out. If you do need double knitting, I do have a review on this so you can see. Right now I'm making a triangular shawl on here, so if you're wondering what that is. Now you'll notice a stark difference in that this is the high grade plastic, and then this has the wood. And I did speak with Knitting Board about this, because I did have some people say, oh, they've lost their signature color and everything like that. Well, you know what, they're really interested in what matters to many people, and sometimes our budgets really determine which looms we get. I mean, a lot of times they do, sometimes they don't, but they really wanted to keep the cost down and keep you guys in mind. So by doing it this way, it was more affordable for more people. So if that helps answer that question, I'm going to put this down. So this 28 inch is also the 7/16 gauge. Also, the new Loom Knit Basics kit. I've kind of nicknamed this the Basics Loom. This is also the 7/16 gauge. Now, what's really nice is, like, let's say you want to put together a blanket on here, and you're trying to knit up a swatch and figure out, how you want to lay it out or what your gauge is going to be. You could actually test it on here if you wanted to, if you do have it. So I just want you to know that you can use these all kind of as companion products. But these are all actually a gauge that are not on any other loom that's in the current market right now that I am aware of. Anyway, so just want to bring that up. Let's see. Oh, so I've tested the double knit, and I've got a sample right here. And I will have to put some kind of diagram on my blog. A knitting board may put something up. But this is actually a 6, and it almost behaves like a 7. It's from Red Heart, and it's super, super thick. But as you can see, I got this really consistent double knit. Now, this is actually almost as thick as doing a like a rug. It's like a matte thickness. But I don't think I could have gotten this on the other S loom, but because of this gap in here, it fits in here really nicely. It wasn't struggling at all. And so I thought that was really nice. When I tried a number 5, this is from Sensations, and technically it feels like a 4, except because it's so fuzzy. It's been put in the 5 category, so it's going to be really loose. So if you want something in a double knit fashion but still soft and very loose, you could still use this. So look for that on my blog. I may at some point put a link on here, so you're welcome to come back and forth to this video. But always check out the GoodKnitKisses blog to be sure. And if you're not sure where that is, just go to GoodKnitKisses.com and you can find where everything is. And let's see. Also, to my right, your left, is a dewdrop. Now, if you've seen the video, I do have a loom along for the Drop Shawl. And this particular one, now the shawl has 100 rows on it, so it makes it into a shawl, but this one is, I believe, 32 rows. And then it sort of just rolls in on itself because it is more of a stockinette stitch. And so it's, you know, it's about 5 or 6 inches wide, okay? And it has these really long, dramatic drops. And when I did it, I only took up about half the loom on here. And it was really an experiment because I'm a very tall person. I'm 6'1". And so the way that I did it on the all-in-one loom, the loom just wasn't quite wide enough. And so I added some extra drops, which you could do on the 28-inch board with, if you put in your all-in-one extenders. And they're probably going to put some other extenders out on the market in the right gauge for the 28-inch peg. But I added them on here and only used about half of the loom, and this particular scarf is 75 inches. So if you wanted something a little bit wider than what we did in the Dewdrop Loom Along video, then you could actually make it on here or your 28-inch and have something a little more dramatic and long. And of course, this didn't take very long to knit up at all. This is just one ball. I think it's 129 yards. Of this particular yarn here, and it'd make a nice quick gift for somebody. So and I got this at a specialty yarn shop. So I think I have answered all the questions. If I did miss a question that you need answered, I'd be happy to do so. Just please leave a comment below. Please check out the blog for more details and more comparisons. We'll also have some photos roll past on the end of this video, as well as links to the other reviews for the Sock Loom 2 that came out, the same gauge as the all-in-one. Also, you already know about the all-in-one from my channel. The Basics Loom, the 28-inch loom with peg extenders. And then check out vivaloom.com for more patterns. And then they'll be coming either on our blog and loom knitting boards from Isella. I believe she has some and that show up on the blog for Knitting Board. She is our on-staff writer, and there's going to be new patterns that come out on there, I am quite sure. So thanks for tuning in to GoodKnitKisses and checking out the new knitting board. I hope you do check it out the next time you're able to online, or check it out in your local store if it's available. Have a great day and happy knitting. Bye-bye.